All right, we're live. We're live. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning, guys. How's everybody doing?
I'm sure most persons should be anxious right now after BTC went below 90K yesterday. I think that's one of the relevance of this live stream we do Mondays to Friday because yesterday we actually did say it when we were looking at the BTC chart. We said it that
Mm-hmm.
there was a zone we marked out, and we were like, if it goes below, I think it was 92K, and we're like, if it goes below this 92K zone, we're going to dive down to the 80K range. You get would most likely get to like 86K, 85, 86K or thereabouts. We spoke about it when we were dissecting the BTC chart. And yeah, we did drop an entry point for a short position. We said if price gets there, we're going to short the market, which we'll look at towards the end. But it was no surprise for me yesterday evening when I looked at the chart and I saw Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at 90K and it kept going down till I think it got to as low as is it 88K or thereabouts. It got to as low as that. But I was not even surprised at all. Like I wasn't because when I looked at the chart, I saw that it had gone below the level we said if it breaks below that zone, it will go down further to the 80K range. Well, we'll look at the chart towards the end. Yeah, so for those watching us, we do this every morning, 10 a.m. live, and it's usually supposed to last for about 20 minutes. So if you're joining, if you're listening right now, feel free to drop questions or stuff you want us to look into. We advise you to join on time so that if you have questions or some things you want us to jump on, you can drop those informations before we go too far so that we can have time to look into some of those things. And feel free to
You
invite
know,
anyone you want to.
before when we saw the chart drop when Bitcoin went to like
Yeah,
90K,
yeah.
because we're having the conversation then, you said we might see Bitcoin at 70 something K. Now,
Oh,
uh, that fear or that, oh, man,
yeah.
here we go again. Because now, because that's like the first thing, you would, when you see, oh, this thing is dropping, we are seeing 90K. Now
Mhm.
we might go and see lower than 90K because I think it went slightly lower than 90K yesterday. But what we fail to understand is most alts are actually holding up okay, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's crashing. Currently,
Exactly.
Bitcoin dominance is around approximately 59%,
56. No,
54%.
56. 56.
Is it
56
56? Okay,
points.
because
Yeah.
I checked it, the last time I checked it was around 58. So it's dropping. And we really do need that dominance to drop if we want to see monies flow into alts, if you want to see alts pump and make meaningful gain, right? And then, now that we are seeing something like that, even though Bitcoin's price is dumping, it's not bad. The only part that would be really,
Exactly.
really sad is if when we get one of those stupid crashes where you just wake up and then there is one war news and then you see Bitcoin has dropped to like 80K, like just one red long candle, then oh boy, disaster. Because now everybody is in panic mode. There is this massive uncertainty based on price action. But if we have this kind of slow grind where you see maybe Bitcoin 2% it has dropped, and you see alts, because if you check today, the likes of ICP, they are pumping, right? There are
Yes, now.
few
Yeah,
tokens
yeah.
that are doing like 14% alts. This is basically what we need, right? Bitcoin, if you're dropping, drop your normal 1%, 2%, or 3% drop odds that are sustaining, and then those good news that we are getting from maybe announcements from those odds and whatnot, they're actually pumping those odds. Because I tell people one of the best kind of pumps, at least in my book, is when you see an odd today it has done 20%. and it sustains it. Tomorrow it's doing 23%. Next tomorrow it's doing 18%. If it
Yeah,
continues like that, that token will do 5x without you even knowing. Right?
yeah.
That's like one of the best kind of pumps. And we saw it with BNB earlier this year. So the drop in Bitcoin's price at this in this fashion or in this manner, it's actually beneficial to us to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing people should also notice, for those that have been consistent in this live stream we've been doing, you'll notice that the projects that we've been bullish on and we've been talking about, they're still holding their prices. Some of them are even pumping. Like Dust. Dust did over 20 to 30% yesterday. But the fact is, Dust is still above the price that we were saying people should get in. We were saying people should get into Dust at, I think, 0.05 or there. But that's when we started talking about it on this live stream. And right now, Dust is sitting at, I think, 0.075 or thereabouts. It's still up, despite the fact that when we started saying that BTC was over 100K, BTC was like 107, 108. And now BTC is like 90K. And this Dust is still up like 20, 30, 40% from where we started talking about it. So it shows you that most times in this space, you need to pay attention to like narratives and undervalued projects. Even SVG, when we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
it about 2 weeks ago or so, SVG is still up. It's still up in profits. Yesterday, when I checked the SVG I'm holding, I think it's at 0.08 something. So it's still up in profit. We started talking about it at 0.066, I think. And BTC was above 100K then. If you look at even like the likes of like Sora had gone up. People are taking profits. It's back to entry. It's still holding that entry point. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you also look at which other one like Dash, they're still holding up. You get look at them the likes of Zcash. You get it's still like still doing what we anticipated. Gets to 700 to 800 range, correct back to around 500. You get it's still doing that same thing. If you look at it like AR, AR is still holding at 4 point something dollar. So the point is, even when you look at like AVAX is still relatively around $15. If you look at the calls we called yesterday we spoke about Gigo Fund yesterday, and Gigo Fund was at 130 something today. 131 yesterday when we spoke about it. Today Gigo Fund is at 140 or thereabout. So my point is, even NMRO was around 10 point something, $11 as at 2 weeks ago, while BTC was over 100K when we were talking about NMR still. And if you go and look at NMR today, NMR is at 10 point something. So it has only dropped about 3% or thereabout, 3 or 4%. So my point is, despite the fact that BTC is aggressively dumping and it's gradually melting, you get unlike what people expected, it's gradually melting. There are still some solid alt projects that are still holding up relatively well. Even Iron Bank. If you look at Iron Bank has been holding that 18M market cap, 17, 18, 19M market cap. It's still been holding that zone for over a week now. So that would let you know that should BTC price just stabilize a little, most of these odds will pump. If you ever look at Litecoin, we have spoken about Litecoin severally. Yeah, we have spoken about Litecoin severally. Litecoin to BTC, if you look at the price, Litecoin is bullish. If you look at the charts, Litecoin, Bitcoin chart, Litecoin is actually bullish against BTC. So BTC is dumping, whereas Litecoin is just holding its position. That's why you're still seeing it around $94, 94.95. It's been playing at that 94.95 to 100, 105 for the past 2 weeks or thereabout, despite the fact that BTC has been dumping gradually. At least altcoins are making progress. Only the solid ones, by the way. Only the solid altcoins. There are some that they are just there. They are actually dumping badly. For example, one of the alts that I have noticed that has dumped really, really bad is Orderly. That's order, the project order. If you check order has dumped, like it has dumped over 50% since this whole
Yeah, true.
fiasco and all that. It has dumped. Like it's just been doing constant dump, dump, dump. It's not like it's a bad project. It's not like they are not making money. It's not like it's not profitable. It's working. They are profitable, very, very profitable. But it has just been dumping, dumping, dumping. Which is what we always see that in a market like this, those solid projects, it gives you an opportunity to buy them at very, very cheap prices. There are still projects that I'm personally looking at, waiting for them to crash. Like I want them to dump well before I start maybe thinking of accumulating. And there are some that I feel that these ones they're at a very, very good price already. There's no need me waiting for it to crash. Like it doesn't really make sense trying to chill and just be on the sideline waiting. Rather, the only thing that will happen to this project is it will start gaining some momentum gradually, gradually, gradually. So yeah, I think it's time for us to look at maybe top news, then look at some projects we spoke about yesterday. Then before we look at the charts, someone is asking some questions here. We'll take the questions briefly, but let me just share my screen first. All right, share my screen now. Okay, I hope you can see my screen right now. I just added it to the stage. Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, your screen is live.
All right, all right. So you can see the biggest news is Bitcoin briefly erases 2025 gains as crypto bleeds over the weekend and all. Yeah, so invariably, I think that news is very, very clear. It's more like saying whoever bought BTC most likely last year, December, or thereabout, the person is sitting at almost the same level because whatever profit you had made, if you didn't take profit, you've given it back to the market. But now that's the crazy thing when you think about it. Most long-term investors, they are not looking at short-term hodl. Do you understand? There's a
Price
way.
changes. Yeah.
Yes, yes, you're not looking at those short-term return on investment because realistically, if you look at it, someone that bought Ethereum supposedly around this time last year, I think the person is almost still at the same price. I think so. I think so. Same thing too for BTC. Someone that bought around this time last year, the person is still sitting at similar price. There are some other projects that someone that bought this time last year would be at loss. You so that's why most times you need to understand the particular token, the particular assets you're buying, and you need to come to terms with, is it a long-term play you get, or is it short-term? And you should also know, okay, when are you intending to like take profits? You should have that in mind when you want to take like profits from that project. I think these are like some of the things that people should be paying attention to. I mean, some other news, let me see some other news here before we switch to looking at some projects that we are bullish on and some that we're looking at the price action.
As we are
Okay, I
looking
don't.
at this news, so guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and invite someone to our morning conversation. Also, drop your messages in the comment section so that we can always address them.
Yeah, definitely. So I just shared my screen now for us to look at the project we spoke about yesterday, which personally I'm still holding it. So we shared this Gigo fund yesterday.
Gigo fund did not even really drop despite the drop in price of BTC.
No, it didn't.
Because
Actually,
this
me
was
personally,
almost the same price as yesterday.
no, it has actually moved a little bit higher
Yeah,
than
a
yesterday.
little, yes.
Yesterday it was at 131 rather. I got in at 120 something, and I do know I'm in about 12% profit because I got in over the weekend, I think Saturday or Sunday. That's when I got in. And when I checked this morning, I'm in like 12% profit on this gig spot position, by the way. So I'm actually still bullish on it. Now, the crazy thing there is if this gig fund should mistakenly, like mistakenly, because chances of that happening is quite slim. Mistakenly drop below $100 to maybe 75 or 80, I would accumulate more. If I ever see it drop to 60, which means it has crashed 50% from my first buy. If I see it drop to like $50, sorry, $60, it should be like 50% dump from where I first bought. I would accumulate more, you get, because I've done my due diligence and I have like my price targets, either short term or long term. I have where I'm expecting it to get to. So I would obviously buy more. And if it drops to like 65 or 70, I would obviously still DCA. So by the time it's getting back to that my initial entry for my first buy, I'm already in profits. Like I'm in much more profit. That's the advantage of buying some projects that have like at least some reasonable narrative or backing than when you just gamble into a random project. Because with a random project now, it might keep going down, down, and afterwards, you might just end up finding out that your portfolio has dumped by over 90%. There's this project block. There's this project block that is talking about in World Liberty Finance, ICUs on World Liberty Finance. That project, as at August, was still over $100 million FDV. I checked it yesterday and I saw that the project was at $5 million FDV. Mind you,
Is it not
as at
Block that launched on exchanges? Late
yes,
last year? Block has
that block,
dumped crazy now.
yes, that particular block. Let me see if I can
Block has
search for
dumped
it.
crazy.
But that particular block, maybe I'll search for it later. It has dumped. If you invested $10,000 in that block, as at
If you get each
5 minutes,
$1 or 1K
right,
save
right now,
you
right now, that your 10K will be like maybe $200 or $100.
it
Like
dumped
it has
crazy.
dumped aggressively, and that is all because it was all a hype. Now, mind you, that's a project that these guys, Christian Tate, that's Andrew Tate's brother, he did a promo for them talking about it and all of those things, tweeted about it more than once, I think. He did that. They were all hyped, talking about World Liberty Finance. It's a launch pad for World Liberty Finance projects and all. But if you go and check that block now, like go and check it. And I remember I was telling people then that this particular token, anything launchpad, from my experience, it doesn't make sense for it to be this priced. No matter
Hype,
whatever World
yes.
Liberty, like the FGV is just too high. Like it is too high. Like it doesn't make sense at all. It's just too high. So personally, even when I got in when I first got in when it had dropped to like at least 75M or thereabouts. And it was just to do a quick flip. And afterwards, it went further down to like 60. Then a few days, it pumped to slightly above 100M. I exited. And I never got back into that project again. Because once you see most of these launch pads, they are just there to like grab money. In most cases, talking based on experience, it doesn't end well in most cases. So yeah, looking at the top gainers in the market, and we can see Cross, you can see Anoba, and we can see Dusk. We, for those watching, we actually spoke about this Dusk. It's a project we are bullish on, and we started talking about it here from 0.05. That's from 5 cents. Yeah, so it's still up in profit from where we started talking about it. ICP is doing pretty well. This Tommy is a scam. This Tommy, it's a scam project. I don't advise anyone to ever even interact or buy this Tommy. You can do your research and you find out why I said it's a scam project. Since when it launched, lots of influencers spoke about it. I think it's about 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Almost all the top foreign influencers spoke about it. And since then, it's been dumping. Project that was over 500 million FTV, it's been all the way down from the inception, like from the day it launched. It's just been crashing. Yeah, we spoke about 4 too, for people to find an entry for 4 token. Yeah, might be good long term. We actually spoke about that. Then we spoke about Zora. We spoke about Zora. So I was looking at Zora this morning, and they really have some good stuff up their sleeve. Yesterday, I saw it drop to like 2 MFDV. day before yesterday or weekend. Over the weekend, it dropped to 1.6 over the weekend. So projects that I have done my research and actually observing them, I tend to keep a close eye on them so that I can capitalize on market shakeouts like this to get very, very good positions. Sora is one of those projects. Another one is an eval. Another one is
The
an
funny thing is,
eval.
I know when Eva was around 600K market cap, you get, but for
Yeah, yeah.
Eva went as much as 2 million. You get, so Eval is one of those projects
It
too
got to
that,
over three. It got to three.
yeah, that actually
Yeah, it
without,
got to even
we don't
3
really
million.
get news from Eval
So
as to
I've been,
why it should pump. You get, it just pumps, and you almost guarantee that Eval will move.
yes, yes, yes. So for me, I've been waiting for eval to go below 1M. If you guys notice, several times I've brought it up here. I think the first time it was above 2M. I've just been patiently waiting. Even at this point, I feel comfortable in at this 1M. I need it to drop to at least, let's say, plus minus 650, 700K. Um, that's where I'll be most comfortable, like jumping. So most of my eval buys have been below 700K LTV. Most of the times I've bought eval. It's a project that I've actually swing traded it multiple times, like multiple times. I've been swing trading it for a very, very long time. I think almost a year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's about a year we've been swing trading this eval. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are like some of the projects. There are still other projects on my radar that I'm looking at. Obviously, there's also Litecoin. And let's see what LTC price is at right now. After which we'll switch to charts, looking at charts. Yeah, so Litecoin is at $95 right now. I've done a few swing trades on Litecoin via futures, just a few. I'll share my screen. So let me just move to share my screen. We've gone past
To be
20 minutes
fair,
already. It's been fun.
Litecoin is actually
Let's look at
holding
some
up
charts.
pretty well for this market.
Yeah, yeah. Litecoin is holding up like very, 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 very well. Like very, very well. Like really well. And please let me know. Can you see my screen? Let's look at some of the charts now before
Yeah,
we
yeah.
round up.
It's clear.
Can you see my screen? All right, all right. So
Yes.
please, if you have questions, drop the questions because afterwards we will take these questions before we round up. So if you have questions, please drop the questions. Yeah, so looking at a bit of what the chart is saying. This is LTC. Okay, this unicorn. Sorry, this is Uniswap. This is Uniswap chart. Yes, this is Uniswap chart. This was a trade I spoke about yesterday. It's a trade from yesterday. So let's look at LTC. Then after which there was a trade we took on Zcash, which it moved and it touched TP1. After which it reversed yesterday. We'll look at that too. So this is LTC. I've traded LTC a few times and I took this trade yesterday night just before sleeping. I took a loss yesterday on LTC because this trade hit my stop loss. This was yesterday. So I decided to take another trade again just before sleeping on LTC, which is already moving. So I don't think anyone should be jumping in on this trade because that's already moved. So I sincerely don't think anyone should jump in on it. Zcash, this was the trade we took yesterday on Zcash. It was on a 1 hour chart for those that were present. And I spotted the TP1. I told you guys where TP1 was. So yesterday when we spoke about it, we took it here. It actually moved and it touched our TP1. It actually touched the TP1, which ideally what you're supposed to do is to actually protect profits, which is where we talk about that trade management. So you have one of two things to do. You move your SL from here to probably your entry, just in case it wants to reverse if you don't want to protect profit, in case it wants to reverse, so it can just take you out of the trade without making any loss or profit. Just takes you out of the trade. So that's what we advise most times. Then also you can still choose to move your SL just below the TP1, just below, immediately it touches the TP1. But for that now, if there is a minor retracement, then it continues up, it takes you out of the trade. But the good thing is, it takes you out of the trade in profit. Yeah, that's actually the good thing. So for those that manage their trades, they might end up taking profits just below TP1 or at TP1 or slightly above TP1, or they might end up just leaving the trade with nothing, not losing anything, not making anything at break even. But those that didn't manage their trades, they just got in and left it, they'll obviously end up at stop loss. So that's why it's very, very, very important to kind of like manage your trade. Then for those looking to still trade maybe Zcash, personally, I'm not looking to get in on any trade on Zcash right now. The reason is there's every chance that Zcash might still come down to this level, this marked zone here. There's a huge chance that it might still get down here. Don't forget the last time it went as high as this all-time high it created for this year. Last time it went this high, it retraced all the way to about 400, 500 range, which we spoke about. Spoke about that while it was still somewhere here. That was when we spoke about it, that we're expecting Zcash to run all the way up to about 700, 800. Then after which corrects, because the all-time high from about 6 years ago, thereabout, is at 880. There's a resistance there at 880. So we did say that it won't get to that 800, 880. People start selling between 700 to 800. They'll start selling, and it will most likely be retraced to about 400, 500. We said it then, which we saw it happen. It's retraced, and it tried to go up to that zone again, and we're seeing that huge sell-off again. So it won't make sense for me, though, personally. It doesn't make sense me trying to catch another long here. It doesn't really make sense me trying to do that. So I'll just wait to see where we would get that official bounce before taking any trade again on Zcash. Then we have the BTC chart. So looking at the BTC chart, this was the trade we were anticipating yesterday, by the way, on BTC. This was the trade we were anticipating yesterday that we did on the live stream here on BTC. That it didn't actually trigger. We're looking at it getting to this point before we short, but it did not. It actually did not. It actually did short from here. It went down from here. I went back later and I looked at it, and it made sense why it's actually dumped from here. But like I said, trade did not trigger, so I did not short. I didn't make any money from this so BTC dump. But we did say it that yesterday that if it goes below, let me go to the 1-day chart. We said it yesterday. Okay, let me just go to the weekly. Okay, good. We said it yesterday that if BTC were to go below this particular zone, this zone where we saw small price action here, if it were to go below that zone, we would most likely see it try to come fill this fair value gap we have here, which is what we actually saw playing out yesterday. And that fair value gap also exists on the daily chart too. It's 100% exists on the daily charts. That fair value gap sits. This is it. That's why we have that blue line. You can see it here. So we said it yesterday that if BTC dumps below this zone here, because before the lowest we had was 92,700 or thereabouts. We said that if it goes below this zone, anything that makes it crash below this, we'll see it come down to this area. And that's what we're seeing. So right now, I won't be surprised if we still see a free fall, which was why I was saying yesterday, not on the live stream though. I was telling my colleague yesterday that BTC is heading towards 85K. As at immediately went below this price, I said that it's heading towards 85K. So I won't even be surprised if we go all the way down to 70 something. I won't be surprised. And like I said, I think last week, I have no issues with BTC dumping. I have like absolutely no issues with BTC dumping. And the major reason is because altcoins are still holding up very, very well. Like really, really well. They're still holding up. So personally, I'm still not trading BTC. The only thing that will make me trade it is if it comes up. If it comes up to this zone, back to 4 hours. If BTC attempts to come up to this zone, like it pumps back to this zone, that's where I might trade it. And it will obviously be to short. It will be to short it back again to this level. It won't be to long, no. It will be to short it back again. So you might want to keep your eyes out for that. All right, so I think it's time for us to take the questions. I think it's time for us to take questions. Okay, questions time. So some of the questions we have here. Do we have some questions from yesterday? I doubt. Okay, so some of the questions we have here. Someone is asking, is this good sign for LFG to launch? I don't think yet it is. I don't think yet it is because there's still a possibility.
We need to start seeing alt pump first. By the time we start seeing alt pump, then we might not start anticipating that these guys might want to release the launch.
Yeah, so I don't see that happening. Then another question is, please, which is stronger, blockchain? Okay, I think these are from yesterday. Or am I wrong?
It's actually from today, but it's from the same person, I think.
Okay, please, which is stronger, blockchain between Avax and these are two different projects and they are doing two different things. So it's difficult to answer that particular question because there are two different projects doing two different things. The next evolution of yield-bearing dollar Slomo is building a more composable dollar for DeFi. It's stable, it's designed. Yeah, I think they did their pre-sale. Was it last week? They did their pre-sale last week. I know about 2 persons that did partake, but I did not. I didn't actually partake on it. I don't understand this question. The Solomon Lab is the developer. No, it's not me. It's not me. The name of the project is just Solomon. It's just the name of the project. Yeah, so GM and Victor, which platform is the best to buy Sora? PancakeSwap, actually. Unless you want to use a centralized exchange. I think I see on L Bank. I'm not sure. But I buy it on
PancakeSwap. That's for Sora.
Yeah. For EVA, we use Uniswap on Base. And what do you have to say about Hype? I think Hype is good. I think Hype will bounce back. I think they are very profitable. And they have the growth and success of the project at heart. And most importantly, they pay attention to their community token holders and also the token holders. So they wouldn't do anything to sabotage the token itself, especially now that there's huge competition. So Hype is a very, very solid project. Well, it's not a project that I'm going to buy like long term or no, not necessarily, because I just feel there isn't much upside that I can benefit spot-wise, unless it's to trade via features, which I've rarely traded Hype via features like the token itself. Well, it's a solid token, by the way. Solid. The uni trade, is it advisable to keep holding it? I got in that. Now it all depends. Trade hasn't hit SL yet. It all depends on you. Personally, I can't say, but it all depends on you though. It depends. But so far, it's been holding up above $7 very well. It pumped yesterday to about $8. Yet yesterday it pumped. Yesterday, right? I think yesterday it pumped, which was when, or was it the day before yesterday? Which was why I got in at 7 point something and exited at almost 8. The short-term trade I took again. Yeah, so it all depends. Can you talk about MET? Which of the MET do you mean Meteora? Is it the Meteora token you're referring to? Let me know which one you're referring to, which of the MET. There, if it's Meteora, Meteora is good. If the MET you're referring to is Meteora, Meteora is good. Like it's actually good. If someone decides to accumulate AVAX buying in Binance Sex for medium to long term, please, where is the location to store it? Okay, now it depends. For this question, it depends on where you want to store the AVAX. There are multiple places you can store AVAX. You can store it on the C chain, which is like Trust Wallets or MetaMask. You can store it there. Now, I'm assuming you're buying to accumulate long term. But my advice would be to open the AVAX native wallet and send it to the AVAX P chain and stake it there to a validator. So that way you earn passive AVAX tokens. That's what me our advice. You send it to the native AVAX wallet, like you withdraw it from Binance to the native AVAX wallet. Or if you have it on Trust, you send it from Trust to AVAX C chain in the native AVAX wallet. Probably we'll do a tutorial on that, probably. Then in that native AVAX wallet, you will now send it, you transfer it inside the wallet from the C chain to the P chain. You transfer it there, then you stake it because it's only in the native AVAX wallet that you can stake your AVAX to a validator and earn passively. Just the same way you can do on Ori, where you can actually stake to a validator. You can do that same thing too on AVAX native wallets. But the only thing is, inside the wallet, you need to move it from the C chain or from the exchange chain to the P chain because it's only the P chain that you can stake. Yeah, so that's about AVAX. If BTC drops to 74K, will it drag altcoins down badly? It depends on how it gets there. If it does it slow and steady, there will be no issue. Like if it's slow, gradually, like we've been seeing for some days now, there'll be no issue. But if we just see like a long 1 hour candle dumping to like 80K, to drag most alts down, to drag like most altcoins down. But if it's like this, most alts will still be holding up well because every time BTC pauses its dump, you'll see most of the alts try to like recover gradually. They'll try to recover. So as long as we don't see an aggressive dump, we don't have much issue. But some alts will still keep dumping. Even if we don't have an aggressive dump, some alts will still keep losing value. Is there any chance for BTC to hit 110K again? Yes, there is. There's actually a chance for that to happen again. That's why we are saying that in this current bull run, we never saw like a blow off for altcoins. We didn't see like that altcoins narrative where like the altcoins were rallying aggressively. We actually didn't experience that in this particular run, or we haven't experienced it yet. But personally, I still feel we would see that. So someone is saying it's same as Kennedy. I'm using my kit gadget to participate. Oh, okay. Please, what can you say about LTC? I would say LTC is very solid. Litecoin is trying to break out. It hasn't broken out yet. Should Litecoin successfully go above $45, you would see a Litecoin rally. Like you would actually see a Litecoin rally. Other BTCs are 75K or 80K, whatever. If Litecoin goes above $145, we'll see a Litecoin rally. And so far, Litecoin stats, the best stats it has been this year, even in terms of transaction volume, numbers of transaction, and the ETF volume too is gradually increasing. So I would always say that Litecoin presents a better opportunity for a good pump than even BTC. It's one of the best, most undervalued projects in the market right now, if you ask me, that has a track record too. So someone is asking, is there a chance that there will be a relief pump on BTC for this, for us to short this week? I don't know. but I'll still be on the lookout for that. I can't tell basically. Anything can pump the market. Trump can come and say something that'll bring about the pump. You get anything basically can actually pump the market. Avax native wallet with, I don't understand this, integrated with Ledger. I don't know if the native wallet is integrated with Ledger hard wallet. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know the native wallet is obviously non-custodial, but I don't know if it's integrated with Ledger hard wallet. I have no idea about that. Is it advisable to trade tokens on Binance Alpha? Yes, it's advisable. It's advisable actually. Is it nice to accumulate more BTC? As long as you have a long-term mindset, BTC will still go to like 150K. It's just that I don't see that happening this year. So you can accumulate, and also to if you're accumulating, you want to accumulate at discounted levels, like where we are right now. Because right now we've seen from BTC all-time high, we've seen at least 30% to 40% correction. Like right now, we've seen at least 30-something% correction, because all-time high was like I think 126. At 90K, that's already more than 30% correction. Okay, so BTC has already done over 30% correction. So I think this will be all the questions we'll be taking for today. This was supposed to be 20 minutes. We've spent about 41 minutes here. It's always very enjoyable looking at the market and what's happening. I don't know if you have anything to say, Space there.
Well, I don't have much to say. Let's see how this market develops. If Bitcoin's dominance drops further, we might start seeing much more broad pumps from alts. So I hope you have your alts bags ready. If the dominance keeps dropping, then we could probably have a small relief from altcoins. And when we do have those reliefs, please take some profit off the table, because we might still see them go down again. So you might now have another opportunity to buy those tokens at a cheaper price and expect another round of pump. So yeah, that's it from me.
All right, guys. So thanks for joining today, and don't forget we do this every morning, 10 a.m. live. So see you guys tomorrow, and feel free to always bring your questions and invite anyone you wish to. Thanks, guys, and see ya.
Bye.